Hello and welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm David Patton, and we're delighted to be joined now on the phone by Kerry Healey, who served as Mitt Romney's lieutenant governor in Massachusetts from 2003 to 2007. She currently serves the campaign as a special advisor and as a foreign policy coordinator. Lieutenant Governor, good to have you with us today.
Thank you, David.
Well, knowing the Romneys as well as you do, when you first heard Democratic advisor Hillary Rosen's attack on Ann Romney's outreach to women voters, stating that Mrs. Romney never worked a day in her life, unquote, what was your immediate reaction?
Well, I was shocked. I felt that Hillary Rosen's comments insulting Ann Romney in that way were profoundly disrespectful, not only of Ann and the loving way that she raised her 5 children, but also I felt it was deeply disrespectful of all women who choose to either remain in the home to raise their children full-time or who take time away from their career to be a full-time mother for some period. I just thought it was disrespectful.
In your view, do those remarks by Rosen reflect perhaps a broader attitude held by the Obama campaign or Democrats in some quarters towards women both in and out of the workforce?
Well, what I do believe is that there is an attempt on the part of the Democratic Party to drive a wedge between women, conservative women, and more democratic women on these issues, and to portray us in a very black and white, simplistic way, as if all conservative women perhaps stay at home and raise their children, and all Democratic women somehow stay in the workforce. This is simply not true, and we know that's not true. And I think that any effort on the Democratic Party's part or the Obama administration's part to try to portray women in this black and white, very simplistic way to drive a wedge between us simply won't go.
Well, you speak with some authority yourself, not only a remarkable career, but you are a mother of 2. I'm curious your view as far as whether raising children should be considered automatically as qualifying for socially beneficial work when people do it.
Of course it's socially beneficial work. It's hard to think of anything that is more socially beneficial than raising children well. And it needs to be valued and respected, I believe, by everyone in public life, regardless of your political party. It's perhaps a good thing that this comment came up, that Hillary Rosen said this insensitive thing, because now we can have this debate and genuinely talk about the good that comes from the devotion of parents within the home and men and women who decide to stay home with their children, and the value of that work to society. I think it's extremely important to discuss that, and also to talk about how difficult it is for women who not only work but also must manage those responsibilities. All of that work needs to be valued equally, and we need to be respectful when we're discussing it.
And it certainly is being discussed a lot now, that's for sure. Well, Rosen's attack was part of an ongoing effort by the Obama campaign to portray the former Massachusetts governor as out of touch somehow on women's issues. You have worked with him closely for years. Could you please share your personal experience in that regard?
Absolutely. I have found this entire attempt to try to both polarize women and to make women view the Republican Party, and especially Governor Romney, as being somehow not as in favor or as in touch with women's issues as they ought to be, as genuinely just very disingenuous. Governor Romney, with whom I've worked now for over a decade, had 50% women in the leadership of his administration. We were the only state in the nation that had that at the time. He did that deliberately. He values women's contribution in the workplace. He also had a very family-friendly environment within our administration. Family crises, families' needs, children's health always came first. And he showed his values that he undoubtedly has at home and in his personal life in the workplace as well. So he not only respected our work as women and as co-workers, but he also respected our roles at home. And there were any number of women within the administration who were mothers, like me, who had children who were still in elementary school or middle school or high school, and who had a lot of obligations to those families in addition to the obligations that we had at work.
Absolutely. Well, President Obama's record is hardly spotless on women's issues himself. Who do you believe is more out of touch with women's concerns, Mitt Romney or Barack Obama?
I was actually very surprised that when we started talking about this statistic, which should have been completely obvious. It was derived from government documents that 92.3% of the people who have lost jobs since 2009 under the Obama administration are women. And that's just a fact. And you can go back and try to color that and say, well, as they were trying to today in the New York Times, that perhaps some men had lost jobs before that, and therefore that you needed to take a broader sweep. No, we're talking about what happened during the Obama administration. And the Obama administration has not taken note of the fact that it really is the women and the women's presence in the workforce that has taken the hit during his time in office. And you would think that seeing this trend, he would have taken some specific measures to try to increase women's presence in the workforce, or redouble efforts around training women or providing opportunities to women. And I haven't seen that. So I think if anyone is out of touch in this regard, it seems to be the Obama administration.
As you know, some polls suggest that before the Rosen incident, Romney had slipped seriously among women voters. Why have those poll numbers dropped? And what is the campaign strategy going forward to change that?
Governor Romney's statistics around women's support within the Republican primary are extremely strong. Republican women are right out in front in favor of Governor Romney. You will know, as someone who follows conservative issues, that there's always a gender gap between women voters, between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. There are more women in the Democratic Party to begin with, and so they are Democrats, and they're going to always vote Democratic. We're hoping to win a few of those over, but there's always going to be a gender gap between Republicans and Democrats, and we'll try to close that gap, and we will certainly make a very strong argument that Governor Romney not only respects women who choose to stay within the home and work within the home, as well as women who work in the workplace and who need to work, and that he is going to be the best president for all women in America.
Well, Lieutenant Governor Healey, thank you so much for joining us on Newsmax TV.
Thank you, David.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.